So now I'm going to get into MCAT studying. I'm going to give an example of what most students, and for the ones that have taken the MCAT, it sounds like some of you actually did Anki, but maybe you have friends that this is a very familiar situation. So most students will, let's say you're going to take winter break of junior year, the MCAT. So sophomore summer, they spend the entire summer reading all of the MCAT books, right? The 7 series MCAT books or whatever it is. But you're not using Anki, you're really just highlighting and taking notes. And at the end of the summer, most students forget pretty much everything that they've read. And essentially waste an entire summer of studying. At that point, I'd rather you just enjoy your summer and not even worry about the MCAT, if that's what you're gonna be doing. Then, at the end of the summer, they'll take a diagnostic exam before they start a course or something like that. You do poorly, and then you start freaking out. We only have like one person that took the MCAT, but I know we have some that have studied. Does this sound familiar to anyone so far? Then you start studying during the fall semester, but you're taking one of the online or in-person prep courses. There's not that many in-person prep courses anymore, but there used to be. I used to teach those. You do all the required reading for those classes, but again, you're taking more notes, you're highlighting through the review books, and you're wasting valuable time listening to long MCAT lectures. I don't know if any of you guys have done a course yet, but a lot of them have very, very long content lectures, rather than doing what's most important, which is MCAT practice questions and review. And then you finally get into your dedicated studying about 6 weeks out, where you start studying more intensely over winter break. You're doing many practice exams and AMC, and unfortunately, a lot of times you don't have the amount of time you need to properly review that all. But this is where most students actually start seeing gains with their MCAT studying. Why is this method outdated? Well, first, it doesn't incorporate the most effective study techniques, which is backed by learning science. And this is what we talked about: problem-based learning, so doing lots of questions, and spaced repetition. So what we teach at the Pre-Med Consultants is what we call the new MCAT method, and a lot of students are catching on to this and incorporating it into their study schedules, which is problem-based learning from the very beginning. And we have students use UWorld for this. Does anyone know what UWorld is or used UWorld for MCAT studying? So UWorld is, it's a gold mine. It's basically the gold standard at this point. I mean, for the boards, for the medical boards, it most certainly is. And then they came out with the MCAT product, and it's slowly becoming the best practice questions besides the AAMC. And to be honest, their answer explanations are even better than the AAMC, so you can do a lot of learning with this tool. And you couple that with spaced repetition. And to do that, you don't have to, but I recommend using Anki. So that is what I have most of my students use for the MCAT. This is just the foundation. There's more to it. Then there comes strategy and working, for example, through the CAR section. You're not going to do spaced repetition because that's not content. But in general, this should be your base of studying, and you should be doing it from the very beginning. You shouldn't even waste time saying, oh, I'm going to read all the textbooks first and then start doing this. Do this from day one. And it's okay if you're getting terrible scores. You're supposed to get terrible scores. You haven't seen a lot of the material. But who here has ever taken a test, gotten a question wrong, and remembered that question for months to come because you're so mad you got it wrong? Has that ever happened to anyone? Yeah, see me, okay, cool. Exactly, so when you get questions wrong, it's a lot more sticky in your mind, where you're like, oh yeah, that was the question I had, I got it wrong, and now I know why this is the right answer. Rather than if you just go through a textbook and you highlight something, you're not remembering that. Unless you have photographic memory, and then awesome, I'm jealous. But aside from that, you need to be doing practice questions, and you need to be seeing the information over and over again, and that's done through Anki. If you want help with that, let us know, and you can click the link below and schedule a call with me or someone from my team, and we can go over our entire program and how we actually help students do that. But if not, I hope you got a lot of value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.